In this video, we're going to talk about the value we give to certain mindsets or experiences or choices, and how it's easy to overcome things or change your behavior if the value to the different things is changed. So we have now understood that the source-self connection, being in your source energies, is essentially the most valuable experience you can have in this game. In your source energies, with a good source-self connection, you will be at the place where you have the utmost ability to enjoy your life and to grow. But why is it so challenging to master this just by hearing about it? Do you recognize the value of that experience? To truly be yourself, to be in a place of true empowerment, happiness, joy. Because you see that the avatar, unless it is on the highest frequency, is the part of you that is bothered, the part of you that is disempowered. And the reason for that is simply because the avatar has given too much value to a thing that is perceived in a low frequency way. Then you will not experience flow in that area. So what we're going to focus on in this video is a healthy route, simply a healthy understanding that is going to make it easy and quick to let go of things on the go, as you recognize that they are things that are hindering your flow, your ability to just be. So what we're saying is that your avatar thinks that it's important to perceive things in the correct way, but it often has a low ability, low capacity to understand what the highest frequency is. So if something is upsetting, it's because the avatar thinks that it has to be that way. But we need to let the avatar understand that unless it gives us complete ease and relaxation and happiness, then that thing has not been perceived correctly. So we see that we can give too much value to things that are upsetting, when we instead should give all the value to the source-self connection, to the source energies, to the experience of being in complete ease, relaxation, presence, happiness. And this goes for anything you can possibly experience, if it's beneficial or unbeneficial, if it's making you angry or just all ecstatic, if it's causing you stress, whatever it should be, you have given it too much value. And the best approach for whoever wants to experience the highest frequency would be to just remove all the value. It is nothing to play around with. So what is stressing you out? How much value have you given to that thing? If you had a good source-self connection, in those moments where you normally would be stressed out about that thing, would you then see it for what it is? Essentially, it's just about understanding that anything that is shaking you, even the slightest, is something that is not of flow if it is shaking you. And if you really feel like you need to have a opinion or a mindset about that given thing, well, is that really more important than you being happy? And in that happiness you will get the clarity anyway. But is there really any value in pursuing it now that you recognize that that thing is stressing you out or making you angry What about just drop it? Retrieve back to the moment, back to your source self-connection, and eventually, if you ever would benefit from it, then you will get clarity about that thing that previously stressed you out. But now you will be calm about it. Now you will see it for what it is. So we are talking about a level of consciousness here. It's the level where we recognize that all things that are disrupting the flow are misconceptions. And we can make a choice to not find any value in those things, to simply not care to go there, and to rather give all the value to the choice of being in the moment, being in your source energy, having a good source self-connection. And it's going to be much easier if we understand that it is in the source self-connection that you will ever have clarity about that thing anyway. Staying in any kind of chaos and pursuing clarity from that place is just going to lead to more chaos. Do you understand that? So I mentioned in the beginning of this video that the avatar just does what it thinks is correct. And sometimes the avatar thinks it's best to be angry, because that's all it knows within that situation. And the avatar won't be better than the programming that it has. So now we're trying to teach the avatar that anything that is upsetting is not worth pursuing. And it feels like it wants to pursue it because it thinks it has a lot of value. But the avatar is rather going to retrieve back into alignment in those situations where it normally was upset. Because you see, without a good level of consciousness, without a good subconscious, you won't have control of the avatar. The subconscious previously was that it had a good reason to be upset about that thing. It had a good reason to be stressed about it. And if it still hasn't clicked, because it needs to click, you need a aha experience for the subconscious to reprogram, then you should watch this video again. And it's not about remembering this, it's about learning it. Learning that not giving into things, but rather being happy now, being in your source self-connection, is the type of behavior that will get you to the top. And you might familiarize yourself in the concept of needing to know why when it comes to, well, really all sorts of things. Why should you change your mind about this thing? Why should you choose happiness? Why should you let something go? Why should you hold it with an open hand? Well, we've just answered it, because it truly has no value. It has the type of value of making you upset, but there is so much more value in the empowerment, in the neutrality, in your source energies, in a good source self-connection. And if you understand what has been said in this video, you don't need to fiddle around with the why. You can simply have the clarity that will make it possible for you to simply stay aware of what is going on, if it is upsetting you, and to see that it has no value. Retrieve back to the moment. You won't be able to master this right away. Within the time frame of a few days, you might have encountered situations that are shaking you. It's going to take some dedication, and you would be truly passionate about achieving this if you understood the value of it. if you understood how little value those things that are upsetting really has, and if you understood the value of being on top of your game to truly be empowered. So if you have benefited from this video, kindly consider supporting. This is all possible thanks to the supporters. Abundance, health and prosperity to you. Thank you.